Welcome to MacroCode. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today we are going to proceed with our C# series. So as you can see on our previous video, we were able to create here a very good simple project. So we created a console app and we were able to write our first C# application. Then we went through the comments. So we were able to learn how to write comments, that is single line comments, multi-line comments, and even so then we were able to do outputs. So we were able to print some outputs, and you can see we were able to also see the write line method and also the write method. So today I want us to learn something different called variables. So variables in C# are containers for storing data values. So in C# there are different types of variables. So I'll just remove this. So today we are going to learn about variables. And we've said variables in C# is actually variables. So we say variables are used to store data. So as you can see, they are used as containers for storing data values. And you can see it is telling us they are used to store data values in a program. They have a name, a type, and also a value. So in C# you can declare a variable something like this. So let's see if it will do for us. So I think that is so. Maybe just to have the various types of variables. So we have various types of variables. So we can learn by first indicating the various types. So one, we have the int. So int stores integers, that is all numbers without decimal. So such as 1, 2, 3. So here you can do 1, 2, 3, you can do 123, 149. So that is some of the values that you can store in int. You also have double or string. Let's begin with string. So string stores text such as you can see the name or hello world or even your name. So you can say here macro code. So that is a string. So we also have another type of variable. So we just do that. We have double. So double stores floating point numbers with the decimal. So you can see here like 19.9. So these are decimal variable. Here we have a text variable, and this is an integer variable. We also have another variable type called bool. So bool stores values with two states, that is true or false. So you can see here we are saying is active, that is true, or you can do here false. So we've seen integer, string, double, and bool. That is the Boolean variable which stores values in two states, either is true or false. We also have another one called char. So these stores are characters such as A or B or C. So char values are surrounded by single quotes. So you can see here, but the strings are surrounded by double quotes. So these are character variable. So we can do here B, you can do B, you can do S. So it depends on what you want to store. So these are some of the variables that we have. So we have something called to declare variables. So declaring variables, you can declare variables. So you have, so it has a how to declare a variable. So let's say how to declare a variable. So to declare a variable, you do the type. So I'll just put in some comments here. You say type, then variable name, then the value. So for our case here, like this one. So the type here is string. The variable name is name. So here you can give it your preferred choice. You can say this is let me just you can say here my variable name, and you can see it is and then the value, then you assign it a value. We said variables are actually containers for storing data values. So this is now the name of our variable. You can give it a different name. You can say this is macro variable and you can see here we have the value there. So this is the macro code. Now that is how you declare values in C#. Now there is other thing. So assuming you want to print these values, so let me just do that. So you can say console. You can say console.writeLine. So you can see here, I can say name. I print the name of my variable. Age, I can print the age. Price, I can print my price. Active, and say there, and grade is that. I can say this is grade A. So if I just run this application, then we'll be able to see our app. Let's just see. So you can see here we have our values. So our values here, it is saying we have macro code, age. So it has printed the name, that is the variable name, the value, which is macro code, age, then 30, price 19.99, active, false, grade 10. So if we change this to true and we try to print again, then we'll get the same value, but this is true. So that is one way on how you can output your variable. So you can see here we have so you can print even one variable at a time. So if we say here, you can say here name. You can do this. So then you do that. Then so if we print that, you can also print. You can say age. Then you do the name of the variable. You can also do here price. So this is price. Then you can do the price here. You can also have here active. Then you can say is active. Then you can also print grade. Then you can have your grade here. So if I just run our app, then we'll get our values. So let me just, so you can see we have our values here. So here we have the name, macro code, age, 30, price, active, grade, and even the name. So you can see this is the full print that we've just done. So that is one way on how you can declare variables and you can actually print it. So I want us to see and do something else. So if you go to our app, I want us to learn something different. So we have something called constants. So the constants, if you don't want others or even yourself to actually overwrite existing value, you can add the keyword const in front of the variable. So if you don't want this to be overridden or updated, what do I mean? So assuming we say here 30, you see the age is 30. Let me zoom in. Then we say here, I can do here age, then I do here 56. So what is that? So here it means reassigning a new value to the age variable. So if I try to print this, what will be the value of our age? So the value of our age is 56. So it has overridden this and it has taken the new value, which is 56. So the current age is now 56 and you can see it is still here. So if you do the same for is active, so I can do here is active. Then I can say, I can do here false. So I'm reassigning a new value to the is active variable. So you see currently it's true, but if I do is active false, then the value that it will be having is actually false. So you can see we have the false and we have 56. So assuming you don't want others to actually overwrite existing values, you can add the const keyword in front of the variable. So for example, if we do here const and we do here const, where is active? We say here const. So what do you see? You see this is an error. So we are getting an error here, meaning we can't override the values. So these are, we have actually declared the constant values, which means they are unchangeable and they are only read only. So that means this doesn't apply. And if we run our app, we should be able to get the same values that we have. You see, const is age 30 and active is true, which is actually this one. So that means if you declare const on your variable, it means they are only readable and not changeable. So you can see we are getting errors because this is constant. We can't change it or we can't modify it. We are only allowed to read it. So the const keyword is useful when you want a variable to always store the same values so that others, even yourself, won't mess up with your code. So an example that is where this is usually used is for those values that are very constant. For example, you can say const, then you declare something, for example, like pi. So you can say this is you can say this is here you can say double. You can see for example double and then pi. So you can see this is our pi. So this is a constant value. It cannot be changed. So you can see here it cannot be changed. So if you want this value not to be changed, then you do constant double pi. Then that value won't be changed. So we've now seen how you can declare the variables and you can actually use them in your application. So I want us to, so we've also seen the constant, and you can also so in C# you can also you can see how we've displayed the variables. That is, we've been able to declare them here, and we can also output them there. So you can also, let's say, for example, you want names. So you can say, for example, here, you might want to have here, let's say, first name. You can do your first name. Then you say this is macro. And remove that. I can also do second name. I can say code. So if I want to display, I can say here string, first name, last name. So you can see here, I've tried to concatenate. So you can use plus sign. So you can see this one. You can use plus sign here, this one, to add variable to another variable. So you can see we can add first name to last name. So you can also do string, email. Then I can do here, say test@gmail.com. So this is also, so these are text variable. That's fine. So, but one thing I wanted us to see is you can see here we've been able to use a plus sign to plus sign to add two variables. So if I just output, so I can say this is full name. So if I just do that, then I'll get my macro code again. So I'll still have full name and I'll have macro code. So I've used plus sign to add two variables to another. The same case can apply to integers. So if I just say int x is that, then y is that, then I can say int sum equals to x plus y. So this is the sum of x and y. So I can also console. So I can do here console. So I can console and output the sum. So you can see the sum of, so let me just remove this. I can, let me just push it down. So I can say the sum of x, which is 10, and y, 20, is sum. Sum here you can see it is x plus y. So if I output, I'll get the values. So you can see the sum of 10 and 20 is 30. So it has given me the result. So from this example, x stores the values of 10, y stores values of 20, and we get the sum, which is x plus y, which is 20. So also, that is how this you can display variables and you can output them. But also, you can declare many variables. So to declare more than one variable of the same type, for example, you see this is x, 10, which is int, this is int, and sum is int. So instead of doing int, so you can do it very in a simple way. So I can do this. I can do here, I can say here int x, y, z. You can see this is multiple variable declaration. Then I don't need to do this. So I can do x is that, y is that, then sum. So this should be sum. Then I do here sum equals to, so you can see here this is x, y, and sum. So this is x is 10, y is 20, and then we can do sum is x plus y. So if I run the app again, I'm still getting the same values. So that is the sum of 10 and 20 is 30. So this is what we call multiple variable declaration of the same type. So you can only do this for of the same type. And you can also, assuming they are sharing the same values, you don't need to be doing, assuming they are all x and y is 10, I don't need to do here different values. So I can come here and say, x equals to y equals to 10. So assuming they share the value 10, assuming y is equals to 10 and x is 10. So I don't need to declare it separately. So if I just come here and also launch my app, I'll get the sum of 10 and 10, which is y or x and y, which they are actually of the same value, and is equals to 20. So it has added 10 and 10, which is 20. So that is a simple way. So there is also something that I want us to learn today before we wrap it. So there's something called identifiers in C#. I'll just do away with my code here. So I'll do away with my code. So there's something called identifiers in C#. So all C# variables must be identified with unique names. So you've seen what we've been doing. So the unique names are called identifiers. So that, for example, you've been able to see string, then name equals to, let's say this is macro code. So we said all C# variables must be identified with unique names. So the unique names are called the identifiers. So what are the unique names? So you see what we've been given here. So identifiers can also be short names like x and y. Remember, we've been using x and y as variable names. So or others can be descriptive like age. You can see maybe first. You can do first name. You can also do here, you can say last name. So it is always recommended to use descriptive names in order to create a more understandable and maintainable code. So you've seen here, for example, even we can do here int. We say here hour in minutes. So you see, hour in minutes, it's 60. So you see, this is okay. But it's always good to provide names that are clear. So assuming someone will do something like this, we say minutes in seconds, or we say, assuming you do something like int, then m, then you do 5. Someone will not be able to understand what is this, what is m. So it is always good to provide variable names that are actually clear and descriptive. It is also easy for you to maintain the code. For example, when you are going through the code, you'll be able to understand what was this guy writing here, and what did they mean when they were writing that particular code. So it is always encouraged so that you provide descriptive names that is clear. So as you can see here, so generally in C#, names can contain letters, digits, and underscore characters. So names must also begin with a letter or an underscore. Name should also start with a lower case letter and cannot contain white space. So you can see here, so it's general rules. So if we just do int, you should not do something like this. So you see this, so you should start with small letters, and it should also be a letter. It can start with an underscore, and names are also case sensitive. So if you write something like this, for example, int, you say my hour, then you say int my hours. So those are two different things. So you can see here. So if I try to write this again with the same name, it will give me the error. So you see, this one, the first one, you see here, the first one and the last one, this is giving me the error because the names are case sensitive. So my hours and my hours is the same. But you see here, I've done small m. So that is different. So that is a different variable altogether. So it's not the same as this one. So that's why we are saying that names are case sensitive. So if you just remove this, these are two different things. So that is what you need to be very, very clear about it. So also names are, so you have reserved words in C#, such as int. So you can't use something like int. For example, you do something like this. You say int, then int. You use it as a variable name. So you can't use something like this. So you can't use reserved keywords as variable names. Or you use something like int, then you say string 2. So you see, this string is a reserved keyword. So you can't use something like that to define variables. So that is totally different, and you cannot use it to define variables. So I think that is it for today. I want to leave it there for today's episode. So if you like the video and you want to have more of this series, subscribe to our channel, comment down below, and see you in our next episode. Bye.